Chris, you muted me. You messed up my intro. Golly. Hello. Welcome to the Bronco Country Roundup. I was super prepared to be better, but as you saw, we were dealing with a new system. I thought I was unmuted. Chris muted me. That's okay. I won't blame him. Welcome. Are you not entertained as what has happened yesterday, today, whatever? It is
in this moment, right now.
Yeah. It is 6:56 on September 23rd. So if something happens at 8 p.m. when this is done, that's not on us. But my name is Carter Davis. That is Chase Clorfield. That is Chris Van Sickle. And we cannot have Evan with us today because he wants to mess around in Washington, D.C. So now you get to be led by me.
Something about a wedding or something.
Something that's not important. Who cares?
Nah.
So, a lot going on today. Probably too much to talk about. So we're going to hit on a few things. Recruitment. What's happening in the PAC, as if anybody knows. Talking about the Portland State game. We're going to talk about the upcoming Washington State game. And if you stay till the end, there is a drawing happening for subscribers. But I'm not going to say anything else until we get there. So first, we are going to start with recruitment, and that is Chris. Chris, did Boise State get a new commitment?
They sure did. Brendon Haygood, a running back out of, now he told me how to pronounce this city, like saxophone, he said, Saxe, Texas. 5'9", just a little spark plug. You look at his highlights and it's just, I mean, his straight line speed is great and it's going to transition well. But to me, what's going to make him special is going to be his quickness, but more than that, his patience. In his highlights, he clearly lets those blocks set up and then just hits that hole once it's ready. I talked to him the other on just hours after he committed, actually. Super nice kid, very well spoken. He wanted to commit in the summer, and the coaches said, no, let's hold off. Let's wait until you take your visit. So he took his visit last week and loved it. Felt the connection with the coaches, really likes Coach James Montgomery, and pulled the trigger. He's going to join what everyone's calling the stable of running backs, which is well stocked. Let's just put it that way. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about Dylan Riley bursting on the scene, but really excited for Brendon. Super great kid. Is going to finish out his senior year, go to prom, do the track, and then he will be in here for fall camp next year. And I bet I would not bet against him seeing some time next year. So congratulations to Brendon. I hope he stays healthy. I do have this. I beg everyone's pardon for using this new technology. I'm still working through it. He has some pretty impressive stats. I'll put them up here.
Right over my face. Awesome. It's great. No, keep talking about it. It's fine.
You're being Mike Wazowski'd right now.
Apparently so.
43 carries, 530 yards, and 6 touchdowns. That's only 12 yards per carry. I think it would take that. And then check out, here it is. This is a 98-yard run. Keep in mind, this is in Texas. This is not against Caldwell. No offense, Caldwell. But this is some legitimate competition that this kid is showing off against. So super excited about him. That's what I got.
Alrighty. Yep. Looks like a great addition to the stable. I truly don't know how we continue getting amazing running backs, but it just keeps happening, and I'm fine with it. Also, by the way, if anybody's watching and they see me look over, it's because I'm trying to keep as up to date with the process going on as possible, because UNLV was not a part of it. Now they could be a part of it. UConn could be coming as a football-only member. I don't know what's going on, so I'm trying to keep up to date. So please excuse if I'm bouncing back and forth.
Yeah,
but
we were kind of chatting earlier. It's literally like every minute there could be a new detail popping out. It's crazy.
Yeah, today is one of the craziest realignment days, and I'm just trying to stay on top of it for the people. So,
Can I add something else, Carter? Sorry. So like right after Brendon committed, Boise State offered Lazaro Rogers, a running back from Florida, who's currently committed to Northern Illinois, also a class of 2025 kid. And some of us are kind of scratching our heads a little bit, like what's going on here. But look what happened against Portland State. Breezy's still not ready to go. Sire goes down. Fortunately, it just sounds like an ankle sprain. He's a game time decision, which is good. But there's a premium on good running backs, and Boise State's prioritized speed. And so I don't know. Maybe this is a Cutter thing where let's get a couple extra guys in here and just unleash that stable. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Yep. Totally agree.
No, for sure. No, that's definitely, and you got to think about Ashton Genty is probably leaving. Tyler Crow is probably leaving. Exactly. That's 2 scholarships. So we got to replace those people. So I definitely get why. I think people are a little spoiled with what we got going on now, but Ashton Genty is eventually going to leave. So we got to prepare. So recruitment, unless anybody else has anything, we're going to move on to the PAC. We're going to try to keep it short. We could talk about the PAC all day. It could be an hour-long discussion just about what has happened today. But, Chris, Chase, whoever wants to go first, what is your reaction to what happened with the AAC, Utah State, UNLV? Anybody who wants to go?
Yeah, just seems like a real fumbled mess somewhere along the line. I put on Twitter, you just needed 2 teams. And you can't sit down with them and say, what do you want? And meet those. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And obviously, I was in favor of UNLV coming. So with the latest up-to-date news, it sounds like they are still considering coming to the Pac-12. And that would be a welcome addition. But Utah State, really? That's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, Chase, how do you feel about Utah State? How's that making you feel right now?
Every conference needs doormats.
Yeah.
So, no offense. My wife went to Utah State for part of her schooling. So, and I have a lot of friends that are Aggies. But yeah, I'm with Chris. It's like you just had 2 chances. You just need 2 teams. And I think the biggest mess up that happened with the Pac-12 and this rebuilding, what they're doing is they added the 4 teams, but they still needed 2 more, right? But then they should have just done it all in one foul swoop. Get the guys they wanted.
Absolutely.
Because now what the Mountain West is doing is saying, hey, we're getting $17, $18 million exit fees from these 4 schools. So here's a lot more money for you teams if you stick around in the Mountain West, UNLV or Utah State or Nevada, whoever else it may be. So they kind of what's the quote from Kung Fu Panda? One often meets his destiny on the path he takes to avoid it.
Ooh,
so
that's a good one.
Us giving this money, the exit fees, whether that's us or Pac-12 that pays it, now they're just using that to sweeten the pot to try and entice these teams that are left to stick around.
Absolutely. And, I'm about to go on a little rant here, but before I go on that little rant where I talk to all members of the Pac-12, what is up with the supposed $2.5 million coverage fee for the AAC? Like, they're facing $25 million per school, and we're going to give them a 10% coupon to get out of the conference.
It seems embarrassing, honestly. I saw that number and went, "Are you kidding me?"
It's a no deal. No, yeah, that's crazy.
Honestly, and I've seen reports of like, "Oh, well, we only really wanted Memphis." Well, we didn't get Memphis,
right?
So it didn't work anyway. So what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But I think the AAC is a lost cause. There could be some sort of reverse merger thing that comes down the road. Who knows? But I'm about to get on my little soapbox here because I've seen a lot of people say that Boise State and the rest of the other 3 that left are now like losers. They have egg on their face. It's all this sort of stuff. First off, it's a lose-lose situation because we've kind of lost now that we've gone to the PAC. I don't really think so, but the win is a lot smaller. But you lose if you stay in the Mountain West, and there's no way to know that switching over was going to cause all this drama at the time. But also, the Pac-12, I still think, is a better conference than the Mountain West, because the Pac-12 has taken the 4 top Mountain West teams, plug and played, and I still think they now have the best conference out in the West. I just don't get the logic of like, oh well, now we're on the same level as the Mountain West. Like, why did we do this? This is a failure. We still have the best football. This basketball conference is now insane. The
Yeah.
Pac-12 branding is insane. The media deal, even if it's smaller than what people imagined, 10 million is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so I don't get it. We're still in a better position than we were a year ago. The Pac-12 is still better. This is to all people within the Pac-12 conference. This is still a good deal. And
Yeah.
people can complain, people can say, what was Dickey doing? What was Gold doing? I agree it sucks. The AAC would have been nice.
Yeah.
But the Mountain West is left with bottom feeders. This is still the premier conference. And I get why people are upset, but people just need to take a step back and see this is still good. And I feel like that needs to be repeated. The Pac is still good.
If you break it down on just a comparison level, say we take UNLV and Utah State. So we just traded Wyoming and New Mexico with Oregon State and Washington State.
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
a net positive. That's a net.
That is a net positive, and that's what gets. If we didn't get the AAC, that sucks. It's still better. We're still in a better position. It's still a better conference.
Just trimmed a lot of fat. Okay.
Exactly. And so I don't want to tell people how to feel, especially because I think petty thoughts. I react very, very negatively to a lot of stuff. But I mean, come on, guys. Like, this isn't a failure. If you compare the two, the Pac is better. We're still in a better spot.
I'm just disappointed that we don't get to hear Bill Walton calling late night Boise State basketball games.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who knows what kind of shenanigans that guy would have gotten into in Boise?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot that's going on, a lot of stuff that's probably going to continue to go on, but I think Bronco Nation as a whole just needs to step back and appreciate what we've been given.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah, because Dickey says, what's next? Control what we can control. You know what's next? A better conference, better football schedule, better basketball schedule, better media deal.
Yep.
Some people created this grandeur in their head, but still better.
Well, and right now, like, whether or not there's the merger with the AAC or whatever happens later in the future, what Carter was talking about, if you look at one of the biggest impacts this conference realignment has done is that it's all about the money, right? Money and prestige. And they forget that the people that are getting them this money and prestige are the athletes. So now you have Cal and Stanford who has to travel to road games in conference to Pitt, to things and Oregon, all over the place, Oregon and those Big Ten schools all across the country. And who suffers? It's the athletes. They're still students. So with Boise State in the Pac that currently at the moment is still a West Coast conference, that is significant in terms of travel and just the time spent on the road for these athletes.
Yeah, and that's definitely some of the things people don't think about. But, it's a regional conference. Utah State's close to a lot of people. It's just knee-jerk reactions. And I think people will still appreciate what this conference is in 2 weeks when we get all the articles about the deep dives into what happened with the Pac-12 breakdown and all that dramatic stuff.
When the Utah State 80 emails leak again or whatever.
Exactly. Or the coup email tag project, whatever it is, comes out. Yeah. So, I mean, that's my message, is that we need to be appreciative of what we've been given.
The last thing I'll say on that is we haven't even mentioned the possibility of Gonzaga joining in basketball, which would be amazing.
Yeah, that would make it worth it just by itself.
Pretty much. Gonzaga at Extra Mile Arena would be dope. So
instant sellout every year.
Exactly.
That's all. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all.
Exactly. All right. We need to move on because I feel like I want to keep rambling and we can't do that. We could do it. We could do it all night. I'm not gonna do that though. So, past the Pac, we're gonna focus on last week's game. Portland State, Boise State wins 56-14. Want to go around the horn a little bit. Give me 1-2 good thoughts, 1-2 bad thoughts from the game. Basically, overall, how'd you feel about it? So we're going to go with Chase first. How'd you feel about the stomping of the Vikings?
Well, it was what we expected, right? And the score maybe is 28-7 at the half. Maybe would have liked another touchdown, but we pulled Genty. We pulled a lot of those starters just as we wanted. That's what we wanted to see. And one of my goods is it didn't matter which running back we had in there. I mean, Tyler Crow with his beautiful mullet was mowing people down, going through those holes. Dylan Riley, man, you watch his highlights in high school, and he looked great, but just getting that kind of that playing time, that's invaluable this early. We may not see him very often. He may maintain that red shirt depending on how the running back situation goes, but just so impressed with the running game, with the O-line, just mauling people. And I also really appreciated Maddox Madsen's. He had a couple of passes there that were just gorgeous. The Cam Camper, and then using tight ends in the passing game.
Crazy,
guys.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, and it was just fun to see. Yeah, look at that. Here we go.
Look at that man.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Oh, there he
Point
is.
to the sky.
exactly.
That boy.
Oh, and I mentioned this last time about the Oregon game. Matt Lauder was a monster blocking in the Oregon game. He spent a lot of time on there. It is nice to see him getting out there and doing some damage to the pass game. He's a mismatch. He is a mismatch.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So that's what I have to say.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, how you feeling about the game? Good, bad, in between?
Good. I liked what I saw from the defense. They didn't start out. I know there was a lot of groans when they gave up that touchdown, and then Louder fumble, and it was pretty tense there at Albertson Stadium. But I thought in the end they did well. They showed the ability to get some pressure with just 4 men, which is huge, especially going into Washington State, which we'll get into. But I thought, another game with 4 sacks. They're still tied, number 1 in the nation for sacks. It's great. And offense, I would kind of follow Chase there. Maddox Madsen, come on, let's give him a little love. Yeah. He did his job. He did. He had that one pass right into the defensive lineman's gut, which was unfortunate.
Yeah.
A broken screenplay, but I thought he did a good job. And Dylan Riley, talk about stepping up. This kid was on the practice squad, and here's a video of one of his touchdowns. Just quick, kind of like in the same mold as Genty. Just never gets taken down by that first defender. And then really my only bad was we didn't escape all that healthy. Sire Gaines, I can just tell you from my eyeballs, because I saw it, was in a boot. I hope he's back next week. He's super important. And then Latrell Capel seems to have possibly gotten hurt as well. I can't confirm that. Again, that's just my eyeball
or something there after.
Yeah, hopefully that was a stinger or something. Who knows?
Yeah,
and they were just don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna say anything really. I know what I saw, and I'm hoping that we come back fully healthy from this game.
Good. Yeah, I mean everything you guys said, I totally agree with. I love your comment on the D-line. I always think the guys in the trenches are not getting enough love. I think this D-line is one of the best D-lines we've had in years. Yeah. I mean, last year we were worried about a 4-man pass rush. This year, these guys are going crazy. But it's something I posted in my write-up on Bronco Country. Kind of ties into Maddox Madsen, because last week during the podcast, I really stated that I wanted to see a difference in the passing game. And then on X, I stated that didn't really happen, and I was kind of attacked for it. And I was like, why do I have this feeling? Like, why do I feel the need to see more from the passing game? And I had this realization that I was hearing what Dirk Cutter was saying when he said this was a run-first offense, but I wasn't listening to what he was saying. I heard run first. I thought, obviously we're going to feed Ashton Genty, but Boise State fans are used to putting the ball in the air. That's just what we're used to. Kellen Moore, Ryan Dinwiddie, Brett Rippon, all these people put the ball in the air. And I don't think I was truly listening to Dirk Cutter when he said this is a run first offense. And when I had that realization, which it sounds stupid to say now, but when I had that realization, all my feelings for Maddox kind of went away. It's like, I need to escape that feeling of I want him to be more, because he doesn't need to be more. We don't need a dynamic passing attack. We don't need 400 yards in the air. What we need is 250, 300 yards on the ground, because that's what this team is built for. This offensive line is elite. Doesn't seem to matter who's there in the position. They're just elite. They just move people. Running backs are elite. Doesn't matter if our RB2 goes down. Here comes a true freshman who's going to put up over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. This team is built for the run, and that is something that is a good that I didn't realize was a good until after the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think Boise State fans have just gotten stuck in their ways, and they want to see the ball flying around. But really, if you love good football, this is just as entertaining. It's just different. It's not what they're used to.
Yep, I think it's different, but it works. I just think we're built for it.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we're gonna move to Washington State. Basically, we're gonna do what we did last week. What's one thing you want to see different? I'll start first since I'm kind of yapping away already. I want to see the defense, really show out. That hasn't happened yet. They showed out last week kind of with Portland State only allowing 2 touchdowns, kind of a garbage time touchdown. But like I said last week, that's Portland State. You're expected from that. I want to see them have a strong defensive game. Shut down the quarterback for Washington State, who's known to run around, which we had to prep for Portland. I want to see that go up. Washington State has some underrated wide receivers. I want to see our secondary take the next step in shutting them down, because we can control the ball, we can run the clock, all that sort of stuff. But if you can't stop a team, you're always playing from behind. So my one thing I want to see is this defense finally look like a defense I can trust to stop a team to win a game.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll go if you don't mind.
Go ahead, please.
Like, I saw a stat today that on the West Coast, Boise State is averaging the most points per game. Washington State is averaging the second most points per game among teams all along the western side of the United States. This could be an old school whack football game where we're just whoever has the ball last is going to win. If, as Carter said, the defense doesn't find a way to step up and make plays. I think talent-wise, it's pretty even. Coaching-wise, I think I forget his name. Washington State's head coach may have a little bit more experience.
I think Dickert.
Dickert, yeah.
Dickert, yep.
We didn't really talk about special teams in Portland State because it was good and bad. Blocked a couple field goals, but almost gave me a hernia and a heart attack at the same time on a couple of those kick returns.
Yeah.
We got to see something from the special teams. I'm not saying returning a kick for a touchdown, but just being solid, not coughing the ball up and giving it back to them in tough situations, making them earn their points and the things they get, not just kind of handing it to them a little bit. So got to play a little bit more mistake-free and got to find a way to make some defensive stops every now and then. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, Chris, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for this offense to stay the course. Let's put it that way. Washington State is ranked 132 out of 133 teams in the pass offense. And I've already seen on Twitter, Maddox Matson needs to light it up. He's got to be tossing ball around. Nope, he doesn't. They need to stick to what got them here. Ashton Genty, offensive line, sprinkle in some deep passes, a heavy dose of Matt Lauder, which was awesome to see last week. Don't try to get fancy. And I don't think they will. It's Dirk Cutter. He knows what he's doing. But stay the course. Don't try and change just because you see, 132 out of 133. Run the ball. Control the clock. Get a couple turnovers, and we'll all go home happy. Carter?
Fantastic. No, love to see it. Love to see it. I think that's all good. Defensively, they need to stay strong, stay the course, and I agree with the special teams. Last week was good with those blocked kicks, but I mean, besides that, it took James Ferguson Reynolds a left-footed kick to make people feel good about what happened. So
He's a
definitely,
freaking magician.
exactly,
What he did with
exactly,
that.
That was amazing.
exactly. So, I agree with all of that. I think stay the course, stronger defense, we get the win.
Yep.
Alrighty, so we kind of ran through everything, tried to touch on everything. So if you're still watching, that means you get to learn about a drawing that we're happening to celebrate getting 100 subscribers. So Chris, what do you got for us?
Yes. So let me get this up here again. I apologize. This is still my first time using all this. 100 subscribers. We're going to celebrate it. We are excited. This is hopefully just the beginning. And we want to celebrate it by giving away a pack of cards. So in order to be eligible, you got to be a subscriber. And then go and comment on any of our videos. I don't really care which one. Comment hashtag Bronco Country Roundup. And next week, I will put all the names in a hat and just the old-fashioned pick 'em, and we'll see who gets the pack of cards.
There could be a signed Ashton Genty card in there. You never know.
Could be.
There could. But thank you to everyone who subscribed. We're having a lot of fun, really. I mean, I think we'd do this with no one watching. So, hey, might as well see what happens.
It's very cathartic getting these ideas and thoughts out of our mind. They're very cathartic.
It makes me feel better at night. I don't stew on them. I let other people deal with my negative problems.
There we go. There we go.
Alrighty. Well, any last comments from Chris Chase? Anything else you guys got on your mind?
I want to shout out Sheldon Newton.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Watch
that video.
That, that poor center snaps the ball, goes to block him, and just gets blown backwards. And Sheldon, that is a man possessed right now.
I thought that lineman was in good position too, and Sheldon Newton just said, "I don't care about your athletic stance. You are going on your ass."
He's working his way up and for the All Mountain West team here if he keeps playing like this.
Chris and I were telling you, if you get that single-digit number, those linemen go hard.
Yep.
I knew it. All right, well, we'll end it on that good note. Sheldon Newton is awesome. Stop worrying about the Pac-12, and let's all be at Bronco Stadium to watch them beat the Cougs on Saturday. So That's right. Thank you for watching. Enter in the drawing to get that pack of cards. And as always, go Broncos.
We'll end with a quick video from last week's home game.